sort of a gun battle or some sort of an effort by officers to take him into custody that involves the use of force. That puts that victim, that poor innocent carjacking victim, in danger, whoever that person is. And it just really does raise the stakes, and it makes it really affect their tactics now as they deal with this. They will probably, I'm guessing, are they going to, you know, would they do a pit maneuver at this point? I would guess they wouldn't, right, JT? I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, well, it depends on the supervisor involved in the pursuit. My guess, with my experience, would be no, because we don't want to endanger any more than they're already endangered that victim in that car, or the victim of the kidnapping, carjacking in that car. So that is another consideration. That just gives you an idea of what these supervisors are dealing with everything going on in this situation. As it looks like he's turning back eastbound on that. Maybe that's Van Owen there.
Yeah, it's Van Owen. He's definitely eastbound on Van Owen. The speed's still very high. We've been kind of glossing over, not really keeping a track all the time of his speeds, but we're talking 80 miles an hour, between 70 and 80 miles an hour on surface streets, triple digits on the freeways. So this has just been really an accident waiting to happen here. He and the pursuing officers, and now whoever the victim who's in there with him, have all been extremely lucky that there have been no collisions, because the speeds have been high. And the idea of losing control of this thing, it's not, you know, it's a truck. It's not meant for being driven at high speed. It's supposed to haul things. So the traction that it might be able to have wouldn't necessarily be what you would want for sort of high speed maneuvers. So it's really fortunate that it has not so far been involved in an accident, as it heads again under that runway.
Now it's definitely a circle.
Van Nuys Airport.
Yeah, just made that circle just minutes ago.
I wonder if he's looking
And remember,
for
the
another place.
suspect has a propensity when he gets underneath tunnels or overpasses like this to do something, but it looks like officers are more closely behind him this time and won't give him the opportunity to do this. I also want to bring up that this is not the normal behavior of a stolen vehicle suspect. The suspect may be wanted for something that's more, again, we don't have that confirmed yet, but his actions are dictating that he may be wanted for something more serious, because a 211 robbery and kidnap, the original want for this vehicle may be something that he's running from other than being a stolen vehicle. We'll have to figure that out.
Right, yeah, this is exactly. If it was just a stolen car, you know, wow.
Wow, that was a close call, going on the wrong side of the road.
He's on Haskell now, northbound. Yeah, if this was just a stolen car, if that's all this guy had been involved with before, he certainly upped the ante by committing these other crimes that now, you know, would send him to prison for a very, very long time. I mean, you know, we're talking strikes here, you know, with the kidnapping. With the carjacking, and felony evading. I don't know if that's a strike, but it's a felony, and you know, along with the original car theft. So
the possibility that he already had 2 felony strikes against him when this whole thing started.
Which is why a lot of people run from police, right?
Run a little harder when they're facing a 3rd strike.
Right, because that's 25 to life automatically.
That is Saticoy, going back eastbound on Saticoy, back underneath the 405 freeway, Sepulveda Boulevard.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what he's trying to find another underpass to switch cars again, or what his mind is, what he's going through. So it's hard to imagine what he's thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the poor victim with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would think, just by the nature of the driving, unless the suspect does have a weapon, but the nature of the driving here, extremely erratic.
Are we back on, or what? What happened?
Short or shaved head. He had a gray T-shirt on. He looked to be a little heavier set with dark pants on when he got out of that vehicle earlier. But my guess would be, again, only a guess based on my experience, that he is the one driving and one terrified victim or passenger in that right front seat.
Right.
Police in hot pursuit.
Just very scary. This is just a tricky situation, and really the level of danger here is just pretty high, and your thoughts really do go out to that innocent victim who got carjacked, who was just basically along for the ride here, or perhaps being told to drive. We're not sure. But just how fearful that individual must be right now, that he's in the car with a felon on the run from police. It's the stuff you see in movies, and it's the kind of thing that's just scares you to death, because this could end very badly. This is Valerio Street, approaching
southbound Van Nuys Boulevard.
Okay, yeah, we're on Valerio now, from Van Nuys, I believe, and this would put him in somewhere in Los Angeles. So you've got the LAPD pursuing here. It's a residential area, as you see now. There are speed bumps on the road. There are houses on both sides of the street. You see all those parked cars. This is an area that is heavily populated. We advise anybody who's in this area off of Sherman Way to keep their doors and windows closed and locked and not allow anyone to come in your house right now, because a foot bail could happen at literally any moment. He could get out of that truck and take off running, and he's going to look for a place to try to hole up, to try to either hide from police. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break from this for a second. I think we'll leave the picture up. I'm not going to be able to talk for about 2 minutes. We have to get ready to do something here, but watch this, and we'll watch it together. Hollywood Way underpass of the 5 freeway near Burbank Airport. At that point, he got under the overpass, got out of the Mustang, carjacked the person in this black or dark blue pickup truck, and continued on. Officers for a time were a little confused. There were a lot of officers doing searches in that area thinking that he had foot bailed, but someone who was involved in that pursuit saw him carjack this truck, and they were able to pick up the pursuit and continue it. And he is now, he's losing control. He's losing control, and he's crashing. He just crashed. All right, this is now Laurel Canyon Boulevard at Oxnard. Laurel Canyon at Oxnard. Remember, you've got a hostage in there. You've got a kidnapped victim and a carjacked victim.
Did you see him? He got out
Someone
of the car.
just bailed. This guy just ran. He's running. He's running from police. He's now foot bailing across this parking lot. His hands are up. His hands are up. His hands are up.
But stop.
He's getting down on the ground, and police have him. They've got him. They've got him.
And you wonder if the victim. Hopefully he's okay.
The victim was in what appeared to. It looked like the victim was in the passenger seat. And this guy got out of the driver's side, took off running with his hands up, as if to say, "Don't shoot." But he kept running.
Right, exactly.
Officers exercising remarkable restraint there, given that this is a person who has carjacked someone and kidnapped them. as well as led them on a pursuit that was extremely dangerous throughout.
And it was a
And
miracle he didn't get in any other accidents.
He
or
didn't get
hit
any other
anybody.
accidents. He rounded a turn a little too fast. The rear wheel slipped out, and that was it. He ran into that building there at the corner. We're going to try to get the exact location here again, but his luck finally ran out. All that expert driving that he was doing ultimately didn't really help, because he ended up having an accident, bailed on foot. Police were right there, and they had that dog ready to get him as well. That canine unit, that Belgian Malinois that was right there in the hands of one of the officers, they were prepared to use that to deploy that dog to get him to stop. And he wisely got on the ground when they told him to, and didn't resist any further. He
For a
is
moment,
now
I
in
thought he was going
custody.
to try to keep running, because running with his hands
Yeah.
up, thinking, well, maybe there's a chance still. This guy was a desperate mode to get away.
Yeah, well, he did not, as is fairly typical with these pursuits.
Yeah,
He did not get away, and ultimately he is in custody.
Thank goodness. And we'll find out the exact location. Perhaps JT Alpa will give us the location.
Right, so we've got it now, and if we can activate SkyMap 7, we had it going earlier, so maybe we can get that going again and get a sense. All right, so this is Laurel Canyon.
Okay.
It's near 5941 Laurel Canyon Boulevard. It's
Mark and Ellen,
405
can you guys hear
Laurel
me? We
Canyon
have
and
some
Tiara
information.
Street. Yes, JT, go ahead.
Here you
Well, what we did while you were looking at that, we were looking at the person that was in the passenger side of that truck. We were calling a victim. Well, LAPD took that male, looked to be a heavy-set male Hispanic with a white T-shirt, into custody. They handcuffed him. They are questioning him and searching him right now, handling him more like a suspect than they are a victim. So that is information that's interesting.
Huh, so
So maybe
could-
this was a
There he is,
coordinated
right there,
victim
yeah.
underneath
So-
that freeway. We're trying to confirm that, but that passenger is in custody right
Look
now.
at that,
And
and
they are
the-
aggressively talking to him and searching him.
So could it have been the guy who ran away? Could have been the victim just trying to get away?
It didn't look
That's-
like it, because a victim wouldn't run away and keep running from the
Well,
police.
let's see.
And on top
we'll
of
have to
that, the
find-
driver that ran matched the description,
Right.
the exact shirt he was wearing that we saw earlier. That
Exactly.
gray T-shirt.
Exactly. Well, this just gets more and more tangled. Maybe there was a rendezvous and not a carjacking, that this guy may have been, in fact, a confederate of this suspect and who was helping him to try to get away. That may have happened. It's happened before
Right.
in pursuits
And
where
you
they
were
try to arrange a rendezvous, and then they in fact, that it was a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it, where this happened?
It
So,
was.
maybe somebody thought it was a good idea, tried it again, worked for a time, for a few minutes, for a half an hour or so, but ultimately it ended badly. And what we see now is two people are under arrest. Two people being questioned by the police. One definitely a suspect, the other possibly a suspect, possibly an accomplice. And then you also have the woman who was let out earlier.
Exactly.
In the North Hollywood area. So there are a lot of questions
A
about
lot of moving parts.
who was a victim, who's a suspect, and what was going on here. Was
So
it just a
interesting.
stolen vehicle, or were there more things involved? There are a lot of questions here. We have reporters heading to the scene. We're going to try to get as much information about this as possible. But you can see here, this pursuit has just ended, and at the corner of Laurel Canyon and Tiara Street, and that is in the San Fernando Valley. There's your driver right there. The person who was in the car that we thought was a victim may not be a victim.
Could have been wow, that's pretty incredible if that is the case. We're certainly going to find out all the details, especially about that woman earlier on and his expert driving. We noted that he didn't get any other accidents, didn't hit anybody, thankfully, but going speeds of 100 miles an hour plus for most of the pursuit, it was very fortunate he didn't hit anybody. And this is he tried to turn southbound on Laurel Canyon at Oxnard Street, and that's when he crashed into that pole in that parking lot of a gas station. That's when the suspects ran.
All right, we're going to take a couple of quick seconds. We're going to leave the picture up. Our producer, we've got some TV logistics if you want to really understand this. We're getting ready to go live on the air on ABC 7. So we're going to leave our picture up here on abc7.com. Got to talk to the producer for a quick second, and then we will be right back. So watch this picture, and we'll be back. Go ahead.